Dr. Barry Anderson, Director of Admissions here at Memphis Theological Seminary. It's great to have you here. I tell people all the time that if it had not been for you, I would have never had the wonderful experience of coming through Memphis Theological Seminary, because you were the first person I saw when I came here. And I remember you talking about Celtic spirituality and C.S. Lewis, and I just knew that this was the place to be. And so many folks come through here by your hospitality and graciousness.
It's very kind.
And
very kind.
We're glad to have you here. We've been discussing a little bit about the Theology and Arts program, but we want folks to know even more so out there about, and we've been talking about how unique and special a place Memphis Theological Seminary is, but I wonder if you just maybe talk a little bit about, what you do as Director of Admissions, and for folks that are out there that are interested in a seminary education, just touch on that a little bit for them.
Sure. The seminary has developed a series of courses that can work together for one of three master's level degrees. We have a Master of Divinity, which is the typical degree for people seeking ordination in ministry. We have a Master of Arts Religion, which is primarily an academic degree. And then we have a Master of Arts in Youth Ministry, which is a very specialized degree that actually meets on a different schedule from our normal semesters, because it has a lot of folks in it that are planning to do youth ministry and are actually engaged in ministry. We also have a Doctor of Ministry program, which is a 3-year degree program, an advanced degree, a terminal professional degree for students who have completed a Master of Divinity. And we have 3 specialties within the doctoral program. We have what we call Faith and Health program, where students focus on the combination of those 2 areas, how it applies to the church, and it tends to be one of the specialty degrees in this country. We don't have a lot of seminaries in the country that offer that type of degree.
Wow.
Then we have what we call Leadership in Ministry, which is more or less a degree that is more general in its topic, so that students who participate in that degree program are coming from a wider variety of interests, and it is attractive to a lot of pastors who work in churches as their field of ministry. And then we have Theology and Arts and program that has a very distinct art connection to theology. We also offer 2 non-degree programs. Both are certificate programs. One is in drug and alcohol addiction counseling, and one is what we call the Netters program, which is focusing on how you work as a pastor. Even though you might not actually be qualified to get into a degree program, you can still come and take very basic courses on how you do ministry in the local church. So that is our lineup of degree programs, and we have a variety of students here who come with all of these various interests, and most everyone can find their place somewhere in the programs.
It's amazing. Remind me of Jerry Lee Lewis. Come on over, baby. There's a whole lot of shaking going on.
There you
There's
go.
all kind of stuff
a lot of
going
things
on
going
here.
on.
And the wonderful thing that I learned when I came here, Dr. Anderson, is that you've got so many diverse denominations, and so many folks that are coming in from Arkansas and from Alabama, from Mississippi and Tennessee. And what happens particularly in this chapel when folks come in and worship, I use the analogy of stacks. All these disparate folks came in, but the music became bigger and then everyone together, and it was the music that mattered.
Yeah.
And that's what's incredible about worship here. In the faculty, it's extraordinary here, and the quality of education that you can get here is amazing. And well, one last thing I want to ask you, if you might want to mention being a C.S. Lewis scholar.
Yeah.
You want to tell someone a little bit about the C.S. Lewis Society that you have?
Certainly. The Memphis C.S. Lewis Society was created 15 or so years ago from a group of people who had met originally at this seminary as students. We came together in saying that there's really not a whole lot going on in the field of literary discussion as a free-for-all. It's always a class. And so we decided that we would get together, anybody who had an interest in C.S. Lewis and some of the other authors that were his contemporaries, J.R.R. Tolkien, for instance, Charles Williams.
I love Charles Williams.
And Dorothy Sayers. Absolutely, Dorothy Sayers. Is
The
one of
Inklings,
those.
right?
Yeah, the Inklings and a few more. And we would commit ourselves to meeting once a month, and we would discuss either a book or a paper or some article. Sometimes we'll see films about these authors and discuss what they wrote and how that's applicable to us today. We meet the second Sunday evening of every month here at the seminary, and it's open to the public. There's no charge to this at all, and we'll usually have anywhere from 10 to 20 people here on a regular basis to discuss the writings of Lewis and all of these other wonderful authors.
It's a whole lot going on at Memphis Theological Seminary, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Dr. Allen.
Thanks so much,
Pleasure
John.
to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.